Now, Tara Walker is in the kitchen this morning with a delicious salmon dish. Good morning, Tara. How are you?
Good morning, Simon.
You're going to spice up our salmon.
Yes, very gently, actually. It's not particularly spicy, but it's
Good.
a really lovely kind of depth of flavour. We're going to go with some maple glaze, basically.
Nice.
So let me get started on my little glaze here.
Okay.
So what we're looking for here is a little bit of sweet and sour kind of vibe going on.
Okay.
I've got some orange, which I'm going to dress with later on. But the maple syrup gives a lovely, even though it is sweet, it also kind of has a little bit of a savouriness to it as well. Which just gives a lovely kind of depth of flavour. And I suppose we've all heard of sort of honey glazed things, so it's just a take on that, I suppose. So I have a tablespoon and a half of maple syrup going in. Now, don't be tempted to go over the top of the maple syrup either, because you'll just get that kind of, you know, your teeth nearly like sticking, you know, so you don't want that. So just a tablespoon and a half, and then a tablespoon of soy sauce, and then a clove of garlic just going in.
Lovely.
A pinch of ginger, just ground ginger. And then just a little bit of salt and pepper.
Gorgeous.
And this is one of my daughter's absolutely favourite dishes. You know, if we ever are having salmon, I'd say, how do you want it cooked? And she'll say this way, because it has that little bit of sweetness to it. So it's a great way of getting the kids to enjoy their salmon, you know.
And could you use that glaze on anything else, like on a piece of chicken or something?
Absolutely, Even halloumi would be nice with this.
Lovely,
cauliflower, even if you were going sort of vegan or...
Very good.
Vegetarian.
And you're not going to marinate that, it's just straight on, is it?
Well, look, you could let it sit on it for half an hour, 40 minutes. It gets a little bit too strong if you marinate it overnight.
Okay.
So the one I have in the oven that I brought this morning, I just did it here when I got here, because otherwise it would have been very, very strong to taste today, you know. And
what temp do we cook that at?
So we have 180 to 200 for 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the size of your salmon. So just have a little look at it.
Fab.
And I have one that I popped into the oven, as I mentioned, when I arrived. And we're just going to let it rest for a minute while I get on with the rest of my dish.
Excellent. So what are we serving it with?
Sticky there, yes. So I have a gorgeous charred corn and orzo salad with a little bit of feta and sugar snaps. So I have some corn, which I've just been allowing to kind of totally dry, by the way. Just char here on a dry pan. So I've just been using my knife just to take the corn off like this, and then just sprinkle it into the pan. Very, very simple. Dry pan, but give it a good kind of, you know, 5-10 minutes to do that, because you won't get that lovely flavour from it otherwise. Otherwise, just kind of, you know, like sweet corn on its own.
It'll be bland.
Exactly. And here I have some orzo, and it's nice to dress the orzo a little bit warm if you can. And
what is orzo for those?
Orzo is a pasta. As you can see, it kind of looks like a grain of rice, but it's actually pasta. And I love it. It's so lovely with citrus dressings. So like lemon, orange. I'm going to put a little bit of orange and some cider vinegar onto it. It just gives you that lovely kind of... It's really light, I suppose. It tastes a little bit lighter than rice. And it holds dressing really nicely as well.
Is this a typical dish that you do in the classes? In the online classes?
This one actually does. I actually created this one in January. Well, I used to do the salmon anyway, but I did put the two together for Healthy, Fast and Fresh, which is a class I do online. And if people want to, they can actually watch the recording and do the class in their own time if they like, because we did have it there a few weeks ago. So I just think it's a really nice balance of flavours here, and there's no way you feel like you're just having a healthy dinner and being good. It's tasty and satisfying, you know.
So orange juice and oil.
Squeeze of orange juice, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. This is a lovely one. And like, go for a good oil, you know, if you're doing this. A tiny bit of cider vinegar or white wine vinegar, just for that little bit more acidity. And then I'm going to pop my corn in.
Very good. So you're going to get a texture change there, a little bit of a crunch on that, I'd say.
Exactly. And then also it's going to kind of keep warming throughout. Like, I made this orzo last night and I just warmed it ever so slightly there. And then I have some feta.
My favourite.
And little sugar snaps.
Lovely.
And I just think this is such a nice little kind of light dish. It's good for summer, but it's also nice in the winter because it's filling enough, you know, and satisfying enough. And I think particularly that when I was doing this, putting this class together, it was January and it's cold and a bit miserable, and it's just so nice to have something that tastes light and fresh.
I like the pairing as well, because that citrus salad will sort of cut through that maple glaze.
Exactly. So let me serve up a little bit for you. And I have some lovely microgreens to finish. Now, you can just use some herbs if you want, but I have a selection of microgreens here.
Now, are you growing the old microgreens yourself, are you?
No, they're from a local producer to me in the Boyne Valley region, Root Up Microgreens. They're based actually near Dundalk.
Right.
But they're really gorgeous, I have to say now.
You're spoiled for choice in terms of suppliers. You know, your heritage potatoes and all,
Absolutely.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, and like I'd be very involved with the Boyne Valley Food Group.
Yeah.
And we work quite hard. Like we do lots of stuff in the region to kind of protect the heritage we have, you know, and make sure that people understand what great food we have in the area. Because you know,
it's key to make people aware that it's available and it's on your doorstep, you know.
Exactly.
So what herbs are you putting on there?
So I had kohlrabi, fennel, and a little bit of coriander, but they're microgreens, so you can see they're really small, and you can see that the seed is still there, so they're just very, very kind of fine and very delicate.
Well, the proof is in the pudding.
Have a taste, Simon.
Now, orzo is something that I really love, but I never ever think of buying it.
I know, and actually, it's one of those things. Just buy a couple of bags at a time. That's what I do.
And what would you traditionally serve orzo with? Would you do a red sauce or ragu sauce or something?
Yeah, I've been doing a really nice lemon roast chicken with it, all in one pot. So start your chicken in there. Is that good?
Oh my God.
Do you like that, Simon?
You know, you've got the crunch of the corn, a little bit al dente in the orzo, the sweetness of the salmon and the maple, and then the feta and the orange juice cuts through it.
Yeah.
Couldn't have written that better myself, could I?
And you don't feel like you're going without. You know, you're not kind of, you know, if you're trying to be healthy during the week and have lighter
No, that's
foods.
Substantial.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. I'm going to tuck into the rest. It's a great recipe. Thank you, Tara.
Thanks, Simon.
Full recipe details are, of course, up on the website, or you can pop into Tara at East Coast Cookery School. Right, up next, get your kicks on. We'll find out about Ireland's largest sneaker convention next. See you in a minute.